I'm a designer at MakeFashion Edu. MakeFashion Edu is storytelling, self-expression, and advocacy through wearables design and technology. Welcome to the How to Create a Dramatic Headpiece with Paper and Cardboard session of our 3-part Halloween series. Halloween is exciting because it's a time where everyone gets a chance to express themselves through a costume. Come to think of it, Halloween is one of the few times I get to imagine all the things I can be. It allows me to explore who I am, what I like, and what matters to me, and channel it all into a costume. This is very much what I like to do when I design my pieces for Make Fashion Runway. My favorite part of Halloween, well, I get to see what everyone else is imagining themselves. A common practice at MakeFashion Edu is to take commonly found materials and turn them into beautiful and expressive wearables. My favorite material? Paper and cardboard. Take, for example, this Samba hat inspired of 4th graders in a kindergarten class. 90% of the outfit was made out of cardboard and used paper. It was accentuated by sparkling lights activated by body movements. Pretty awesome, right, for just an old paper and cardboard? In fact, did you know paper headpieces are commonly used in museums and the fashion industry to dress models and displays? In this session, Carrie and Twila Busby, the MakeFashion Edu creators, will get you started on your exploration of paper and cardboard as a material to create dramatic, expressive headpieces. A headpiece can add to your existing costume, or it can be the centerpiece of a visual expression. Either way, the headpiece is a great canvas for costumes. Before we start, I'd like to share the hardest part of making a beautiful piece for me. It's the idea. You can find some guiding materials to help you get started and attached. I find it helpful to start with things that inspire me or stories I want to share with others. Let's check in on Twila and Carrie to see what inspired their headpieces.
Hi everyone, my name is Carrie Leung, and we are making dramatic headpieces. So I made this one out of cardboard and foil that was sitting around my house and 2 envelopes, you can see here. But I want to make one that is just out of paper. So I'm going to call my friend Twila and see if she can help me out with that. Hey Twila, good to see you.
Hi, Carrie. How are you? What do you have on your head?
Well, this piece was inspired by Chinese opera. Have you been to a Chinese opera?
I've only seen bits and pieces on the street when we were in China, but not a whole opera.
I really loved that. Like their costumes definitely drew me. Like the face makeup, the headpieces. What also drew me was the singing and the martial arts. It's a very like visual expression of what it is. The stories behind Chinese opera in the Canton region, the Cantonese opera, a lot of it was kind of messages of who are you and is it revolutionary ideas about who should we be as a populace in the Canton region when all this strife is going along. I made this headpiece, inspired by the Chinese opera, not only to share and spread awareness about how cool Chinese opera is, Google it, but also, that's a little bit a piece of me wanting to express the times, kind of. But I really like your paper headpiece.
Sometimes I have a hard time getting inspired or thinking what message do I want to send. But I started thinking, I'm from Arizona and I love the desert. I'm living in Tucson, and to me the desert's beautiful with all the plants that we call them survivors because they have adapted to the way of living without water. I have cousins, relatives come and visit, and they are looking around like, oh, where's the green? Everything's brown. During the springtime, the flowers bloom, and on the different cactus, the saguaros blossom. They're beautiful, brightly colored, and the contrast with the green and the spikes is just it does my soul good. So I use this as my inspiration for my headpiece here, and I kind of tried to make this like a barrel cactus. I might do it differently next time. But I put a tableau, and here's the saguaro. Tucson's famous for their big saguaro cactuses. We have century plants that the stalk goes up in the middle. We say once every century, but not true. But once it goes and blossoms, it dies. And then, of course, we have the prickly pear cactus, which you can take the fruit and make some really good jam out of it. So my inspiration is the desert.
All right, Twila. I can't wait to use paper to make my next headpiece. I love paper as a medium. It's it's common. It's upcycling. It's around the house. So let's get started. What is the first thing I need to do?
So the first thing always is going to be you got to make a base or something that will hold it on your head so that you can decorate it in whatever way, but it's not going to be slipping and falling. So let's use cardboard, or you can use like cereal boxes, chipboard, something that has a little strength, but it's still quite bendable. So the first thing is going to be to take the piece of cardboard and put it around your head to measure and to tape it. So you just need your cardboard strips and tape. So you want to do that, Carrie?
All right, so I will grab some tape and probably need something to cut. Scissors. Does it matter what kind of tape, Twila?
Just something that's going to hold. So masking tape, duct tape probably would work the best, but sometimes you have to adjust. So painter's tape or masking tape kind of fits that bill.
Okay, so I have painter's tape, and then I had some pre-cut strips of cardboard here. From an old Amazon box. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fit this around my head like so.
Yeah, try and get it.
I don't have a partner right now, so can I still do it alone, Twila?
You can do it, but start kind of at the edge. I would put that in the front of your head so you can kind of pull it around and see. But also, depending upon what you're going to make, if you're going to make a hat, you'll do it just like you're doing a headband. But if you're trying to make something that's more like a wig, you've got to pull it down to your hairline so that it's up here and it goes down and back.
So, I want to make what you made, and that's pretty high off your head, so I should...
Yeah, so it starts up here, and then you have to take your base and go all the way down to, the top of your neck. So you probably, it's not straight. Pull it down.
Here, let me turn my...
Yeah, pull it down more like that, and then, don't cover your eyes. So sometimes if you want to wear it over your ears, just like that. Otherwise, you might get somebody to just draw a little line where your ears are, and then you can cut that base out. For mine, I covered my ears.
Should I cut it, like tape it, permanently, or?
I tape it pretty good I would tape it on the front and on the back where the cardboards come together.
Okay.
Or around on the edge, just so you don't have one side poking out.
Temporary tape, and then I'm just going to have one go across here. All right, so I got the band across the crown of my head now.
All right. So then the next part is we're going to put strips from the front to the back and from ear to ear or side to side so that crown doesn't become a necklace.
All right, so I will. And tape is okay?
Yeah, tape it. Tape it on the inside, and then make sure that it fits all the way to the back.
Great. So I have the band for around the crown of my head, and I'm going to do a cross section so that it holds onto my head. So Twila, I should have it all the way to the bottom here, right?
Sure. That the more that you tape it and the more it's there, more stable.
Okay. And then is there a difference between having the strips inside or outside of the band?
I just think I don't know that I haven't technically, scientifically tested it out, but I like inside because then it's against your head, so there's less chance of it popping off.
Yeah, and it looks a little bit more clean, I guess, for design.
Well, it's going to be covered, so so
I think that makes us bands. Okay, so I have it like this, and then since I don't have a partner to help me, I'm gonna fit it back on my head and pull it. Ooh, this is cool too.
yeah, it's still it's flappery. Yeah.
And okay,
Yep.
that part, and then I just do the same for.
Shape it again, and then go from your side to side.
All right, so now I'm gonna do the side to side, side to side. My cardboard tape management needs a skill game, needs improvement. I guess I should have it on my head first before.
I think you could do that. You could probably eyeball the first one and tape it, and then go across. Either way, just hold it.
Okay.
All of this is just about that support, your
And
your foundation.
okay. So how important is it that, like everything is kind of exact and measured out? Like I'm not the type of person that likes to do things exact and measured out, but for some of us, we do. And does it matter?
I would think that if we were mathematical whizzes and we could calculate the circumference and the area and all that, it might save time, but I think we'll get to that point if we keep making these. We'll get better. It's of course it's a skill. It's an artistic skill as well as could be scientific, but you know, we start with what skills we have. Yeah, you could take a tape measure and measure it and then cut precisely, but you have to remember to add the overlap. Yeah, especially if you don't have extra materials, it might be good to be precise. So there.
That's a good point. So I have an abundance of materials, and right now, like I kind of feel like I'm just like in prototyping phase.
Yeah.
Explore the skill and play around. So exact measurements is not necessary. But I can see if I was creating these headpieces like the Fashion Institute does for their displays, that maybe something more precise will be needed.
Right. And how does that feel when you put it on the back of your neck? Can you feel it down? Is it hitting the not the crown of
I
your
wasn't really thinking about that. Okay, so once I tape this, I will pull it down.
if you want it to look like a hat or a crown, then it's headband mode. If you want it to look like a wig, you're kind of trying to follow your hairline, which goes all the way back and around. So, yeah, I just think wig or hat. Wig versus. Okay, that's down. Okay. It's not going to be that crisscross won't be right at the very center because it's the back of your head that has that rounded piece,
Mm.
if that makes sense. So anyway, this part is all structure and for stability.
So that I can, do a little dance and jig while I have this headpiece on.
Yeah, as long as you're very graceful. Okay, you have your base, your sculpt. Okay, so next thing,
Uh huh.
you have to make a decision. How tall or how big do you want your hairpiece to be, your wig?
I only have pieces of paper that are 8.5 by 11. So.
Okay, so to save time, but you can always overlap paper to make it taller. So,
Oh.
but we will say, okay, around 8 inches, 8.5, because we have to have that. Okay, so you've got to take another strip and put it on your head, but extend it up. You're going to do just the same crown ear to ear, but these are going to be taller. So with another strip of cardboard,
Okay. Another strip of cardboard.
Yeah, you don't have to have it on your head though.
I guess this is where measurement will come in. I have it like 8 inches is right there. Like it's kind of square.
Well, actually, that's not a bad thing.
It's not? Okay, cool. So, since I am doing this by myself and I don't have a partner, I'm just going to do it this way. But if you do have a friend around, perhaps have them come in and help you out. Do you know, Twila, about the high hairs? I guess Marie Antoinette was during the Victorian era?
No. She was before that, the French Revolution.
Do you know why the high hair was in vogue? Like, why was that in style?
I
just know.
I think she just she had time and they wanted to do it. I read that her mother, I think, was in Austria, had advised her to quit spending so much time and money on her hair and on her wardrobe, to act more like a queen. But once she did it, then everybody wanted to do it, and so they just and this was hair. They would put like like bumpets they use now or used to use now. It would be like that. They would put pillows and things and then pull the hair over them, and just a lot of excitement. In fact, I read that because and they would sleep on strange pillows and everything to keep it, but because they kept that so long and they used like lard, they didn't have hairspray, so they'd use soap or lard or things like that to keep it up there, that it would become infested with bugs and vermin. And so when we say it was a rat's nest, their hairs are, a rat's nest, it came from that time because it truly was. So, what, maybe I shouldn't have said fact on that, but that's what I heard. That. So now if you want to cut that and tape it to it,
Oh, so like try the other method?
yeah, do the other method and put it right there to that.
So let's see. Cutting it in half, eyeballing it. And then,
People do crazy things for fashion.
yeah, and I wonder, Marie Antoinette, like, I mean, she was the trendsetter, but I wonder, like, what she was, obviously she was just trying to, not obviously, I don't know, I don't talk to her,
No.
express something.
Uh-huh.
Trying to express, what message she had out there. Or,
She was the queen and let them eat cake. I don't know. But it did not end well for Marie Antoinette. So I'm not sure if that was the way to go. Lavish hairstyles at that time.
well, I think her hairstyle might have less to do with the decisions and choices she made in terms of taking care of her people. Wow, I didn't know that's where rat's nets came from.
That's what it said.
I don't know if I can literally have rat's nest on top of my head for the sake of beauty.
I can't see little nose and eyeballs poking out as beautiful.
That made me think about, the fashion, the headpiece fashions of, the Chinese dynasty eras.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the headpieces had hair wrapped around them, and it was really intricate. And, I have read that it took a lot of time.
Yes.
The hair in those positions. And so, yeah, they would, have different pillows, a certain way to sleep, to make sure that they don't mess it up and the hair lasts longer.
But it couldn't have been comfortable. Sometimes I think I would sacrifice fashion for comfort instead of the other way around.
Right. But I wonder if it's because it's like a different point in time where
Everything
really said a lot about who you were, what you were wearing. in what status you were. So this is where we're at right now.
Pull it down and back. Is it fitting tighter now? There you go.
Definitely tighter. Okay, so
Yeah, just then the other one across it, tape it down, and ready to
stage of this, I feel like, oh, I can make this. Oh, I can make that.
yeah.
Really like Achilles wings right now.
Right, with that.
Paper. Okay. So I will fold it down. Fold it down to touch the other one.
Yep.
And a square is okay.
Yeah, I think a square will actually work.
Okay. And then, all right. So tape it all together.
Tape it down.
All right, tape. A word about tape. When I first started with tape in first grade, I always thought more is more secure. But that always results in a tape bomb, and more does not always mean secure. So just think about where you need it to adhere to either keep the structural integrity or the shape that you want it, and kind of think about if one piece or a longer piece is enough. So, okay.
Okay. Kind of looks like a chef's hat now. All right, now it's time to cover the base.
Woohoo! Okay, so got the base. So the base is good?
Yeah, I think it's sturdy. You could maybe stand on your head and it would hold tight.
Okay. Twila, I have
your structure foundation.
And what is the next step?
So we're going to cover up all that blue tape and a cardboard with white paper. And it's kind of twofold. It's going to make the whatever you put on it a little bit cleaner. But, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, it really helps diffuse the lights because we want to put lights on it later and give it a glowy. So just putting that base covering. So we're going to use hot glue because it works fast, but you could tape this on Scotch tape. Even for the first part, you could still use painter's tape or tacky glue, school glue. So probably the best way is turn your foundation on its side.
Like on side, okay.
Yeah, and you're going to run a thin, say, mark out either with a pencil or just with the ruler, turn under maybe about a half an inch of your paper, how you have it bent. So yeah, just fold that a little bit so you have it pre-fold.
Okay.
And then so each of your papers the same, okay? So now take and run a bead right onto the cardboard, and then using something that won't hurt, stick the paper to your hot glue on the inside. Yeah, like that way.
So, right, so here I go. I'm going to do about 8 inches of a strip of glue, and more is not better.
Nah, just enough. But you gotta work kind of fast. So this might be something you want to do with a partner.
Right.
Make together, because one can hold it, one can do the glue, and then the other one can push it down with your pencil or your popsicle stick. Or
Plus, it's fun to make together.
Yes.
Even though we're apart right now, we're making together.
And we're having so much fun.
All right, so maybe when I am seeing from me doing this right now that it's good to start from one end when you're pushing the paper onto the hot glue, and work from one end to the other, so that if you're missing or if it's not adhering, it's easier for you to get the hot glue gun under from an edge that
rather than the middle. You could tack that top one together.
Okay.
Just put a little
glue here.
and tack it right there.
Okay, that's a can do.
It looks like you might need to use 4 pieces of paper.
Okay.
Is that one going to cover? No, it's gonna.
No. So what I'm doing is I put the paper down on the surface and I put the structure, the headpiece on it, and then I'm just going to slowly tug until it meets the top here. That's how I think this time. I've learned from the second piece this time. That's how I'm doing it. Okay, so, and got that. So it's about 2 inches again. Overlap with the other piece.
You know, it's kind of looking like one of those pharaoh hats, you know, that go out a little bit. That's just what it's reminding me of.
All right, and then now for the last piece, and I should tack it on the top.
I think probably, yeah.
It's flopping everywhere. Last piece, I am going to place the piece of paper, headpiece on it, and I am just going to tug until in a way that it overlaps to the. And this time, I can see like there's more crinkles on the bottom of the paper. This time, I am going to try your suggestion, Twila, of making a small cut, like every 3 inches, you said?
Yeah, just about. It'll overlap a little bit, but
So it's probably like 2 cuts. And so it makes it easier for the paper to.
it doesn't have to crinkle so much. It's just overlap a little bit.
Yeah. If you are having a hard time wrapping the paper around the lip of your headpiece, this is a good solution. To make about 3-inch cuts, and actually it makes it easier to glue it down as well. There's no tugs and pulls while you're trying to adhere the paper to the edge. All right, it's there. Should I tack the top, Twila?
Tack it all together. Yeah.
It all together. Does it? So now that I have everything, does it matter how tight it is?
Okay.
All right. So next.
So if you wanted, depending upon the shape, you can just do it. Hold it. Push in the paper to pretend like you're going to tack it to the structure, to the cardboard at the top, just at the top. So you could go like that and tighten it up like that. It kind of looks like a long dumpling, or
some. You might.
Yeah. But personally, right now, I like the kind of straight up, especially if we're kind of going for maybe a skyline kind of a look. You know, this taller is kind of cool. So I would tack it. I might tack down the sides of the where the paper meets, that overlap, because like right now I can see in it all the way down the side of the paper. Like you have it tacked at the top right now.
Right. But you need to cut the pieces again, but keep the strips attached on the bottom and the top so that it. I see.
So can you try something for me? Take a piece of paper, fold it in half.
Okay. So I'm gonna put this aside really quick. I'm gonna take a piece of paper, fold it in half.
Yeah.
Style.
Okay, so then cut strips, but leave about a 1/2 inch at the top.
All right. So I'm gonna do myself a favor of just marking that 1/2 inch. because I want it to look even. I can see how if it doesn't look even, it might look. And you know, I understand there's variation in hair, and so my cuts are going to be varied anyways.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to eyeball the half inches, but this half inch is going to be like this, and I am going to help myself out just a little bit. Let's see. Maybe not this way. Okay, so I got this cut, and I'm going to open it up. There we go.
Okay. Now put it up and let's see what it looks like with that fold on your hat. So put it like along the top and along.
Ah, okay. Here we really can make it anything we want. So Twila, you want to give me some ideas on, you know, different paper techniques that I can use to express myself?
Sure, sure.
You decide.
So just what you have there, cut in strips like that, that kind of hangs like hair. So you could use that just as hair hanging. You just got to make sure it hangs right. But since you have that cut, and you can cut it short to make it fringier or wider for effect, stiffer. But let's show you how you can make it curly because it could be curly hair or it could just be curly design.
Okay, so Twila is showing me how to curl the paper. And so I have a half-inch strip here. And I can use, Twila, I can use a ruler, I can use...
This, you can use the scissors, you just got to be careful. You can even use a pencil, something that's rigid and that you can put pressure on as you pull it along.
All right, so I'm going to use a ruler, and I should hold it like so.
And run the paper along the blade of the, yeah.
So at the edge, I'm going to have the paper, and then I'm going to apply medium pressure along the edge.
Yeah. You don't want to tear it, but you're kind of breaking the fibers. There you go.
Oh, holding too tight, but wow! So I did break it.
Yeah. So you
Nice curl.
You got a curl. So it's just a matter of practice and so you know how much pressure to apply.
All right. So less pressure this time. I have another strip, and I'm gonna go.
And everything depends on what you want. You can't, if you want it less curly, less pressure. If you want it more curly, more pressure.
All right. I'm gonna see if I can get it into a U. Just, you know, kind of like a box. Not a U. Even more curls.
That's a ringlet.
All right. I can see that being like, you know, what's that called? Bangs or something. I'm gonna try the pencil now. Maybe this is a.
It probably, yeah, it won't bend it as much.
All right, so this is kind of what I was.
A looser one.
With looser curl. All right, I'm gonna try one more time with a pencil.
That one represent the waves, the looser one.
With the pencil, the edge isn't as sharp, so or, you know, even when I press down, I can feel the curl not curling as tight.
Right. So you kind of just experiment with which ones get the desired effect that you want, right?
Right. And then, all right, so I have various stages of curling with pencil or a ruler on a strip of 8 by 11 paper, or your just normal paper. I see a lot of curlies on the top of your build. Was this the same method that you used?
I did. I kept them all together like your fringe. So I didn't, yeah, so I didn't have to glue them on one by one, but I curled them off of that, but it was smaller. We cut it quite small because we knew we just wanted little curves to represent the rocks and the sand.
Okay.
And to cover up the top.
Okay, so definitely recommended to have this half-inch band here so you don't do as much curling. much gluing.
It's much gluing. That'll keep it. But you might want, if you are doing something that looks like waves, you might want individual ones spread further apart. So it depends is the answer.
Yeah, depends on what the design you want.
Then, yeah, what do you want? And
Get lazy and do two at once.
we tried. Elisa pulled them out, but yeah, we would lose one every once in a while.
Not does not save time. Okay, so what's next paper technique that maybe we should show off?
It's making like how I made the saguaro cactus, so it's kind of a 3D effect, but with flat surfaces. Um, did it glue together there?
Okay, so how do I prepare for that?
You need to fold. Da-da. Oh yeah. Fold paper. See, that looks kind of cool. Kind of see stuff.
So awesome. All right, so fold paper, like just normal paper will. All right, so Twila, I went ahead and took some of your advice and did the lantern cuts. So I was just trying, I was exploring with ideas. So I kind of semi taped it down like this. And I also tried with more of the curling.
Yeah, I like it.
Me. And I really like this, and I was thinking, oh, well, maybe I want to turn this into a wig. And I realized that we have to layer it. So,
yes.
And I need more. So I taped one on, and then I taped another one over the top of it, the bottom up. So I'm going to kind of play with more ideas as I sit here and think about how I want my paper headpiece to be. But while I have you here, what would be my next step?
Well, I think once you kind of have an idea of what you want and you want to put a tableau on the top, we better cover the top so that there's something to glue whatever you put onto it. So just with a piece of paper, put it over and make a good base. Put it inside the part that's around.
Okay. So I went ahead and got a piece of paper, and I kind of did some random cuts here.
Sure.
I am going to, let's fit it into the headpiece.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose you could put it over it all, but I think it would be easier to put it inside.
Okay. I'm going to try this out. So I have the paper. I'm going to slide it in between. And then the cuts really help guide the curvature. And voila.
And I would hot glue that too.
Oh, hot glue it to?
I would, because you want it to be a pretty solid base.
Okay.
So just.
Oh, right. So the things that go on top doesn't shift around.
Right. So you want to put, just a little dab on your structure, your foundations.
Okay.
And then whatever other kinds of paper techniques you want to use, then you just make sure that you can glue them right down on top of that and arrange them so that they look good from the angle you want. So.
All right. So thank you for that, Twila. I went ahead and wrote down some keywords that you have used to Google, right, Twila? And
it's my friend.
For inspiration, in terms of papercraft, there is a lot of great content out there already. So once you have decided kind of what you want to build, you want to kind of just search in YouTube or Google DIY, do it yourself, paper, and then something else, wigs. So all these curly bits here that we have was from videos inspired by DIY paper wigs. Another method that I saw online is paper quilling. So if you like the look of this, you should go online and take a look. And then, do you have paper flowers on yours, Twila?
Well, they kind of look like flowers, but they were supposed to be agave cactus. Let's see. They're these little ones. They kind of look like water lilies, but that was mine. And those were just made with pieces we just layered around like you're making a rose. So kind of hard to see.
So,
yep.
YouTube, you might want to search paper flowers, DIY paper flowers. And then here's like the beginning of one. Another way to express yourself through paper is origami. You can search that. If you use 3D paper shapes and you Google that, you get a lot of awesome geometric shapes. And I really loved, Twila, your cactus. And so I Googled DIY paper cactus, and it showed me a kind of a simplistic way of making something that looked really good. So I didn't finish making it, but I'm in the process of finishing it up. So basically, take a stack of papers, trace the shape you want, and I wanted a tree, and then I cut them out and just glue them together, and Twila, can you show us your cactus up front?
Yeah, I think it can get in here. So it's just they're all glued together at the center. The folds are glued together. So especially for cactus, it gives that ridge, but it gives a 3D look without having to figure out how you're going to make a tube or something like that. So just like your trees are. I don't know how well you can see that, but yep. Oh, and then I stuck the arms on. They're kind of flat. So
Twila, once I decide, I'm going to explore a little bit later on my own different techniques and how I want to build the Golden Gate Bridge and maybe the Transamerica Pyramid and all these other things. Once I have them all, how do you recommend I assemble and attach it to the top?
So first off, either arrange it off of the hat first or the wig, and then before you glue it, put it on to the top so you can look at it from different angles to see if what's the look. So you want a tableau, and you might want it to start at the back and come down to the front, or you want the middle to be high. But anyway, arrange them all. In order to glue them, hot glue them to that base that you put on, you might have to make some little tabs on the bottom or little feet so that they will hold on to it. So say you're doing that, you might want to do like a 1/4 of an inch tab on the very bottom of that. Fold it so that there's something, so you're not gluing an edge, because there's not a lot of face space to put your hot glue on. So
like I just made some cuts, and then
little feet. So for your building there, you might just add little feet to it.
Got it.
So something so that it'll glue, and then you put them all, arrange them all together, and then just hot glue them on the top. Then you have the rim, the edge around it. You might want to put some of your quilling or your curlies or something like that around the edge, just to fill in on the outside.
I'm all like, woo! Okay.
It's a San Francisco earthquake.
All right, I'll use the individual quilling right now.
Put them on the outside at the top of your lantern too. So you're not seeing the edge of the paper.
Right, I see.
Yes, there. Around there, and then fill it in and make sure you leave some space to put your lights in, because of course we're going to use lights to make it glow, and also you can use the lights to give it color. We're using white, which it looks really good by itself, but being the Make Fashion EDU light up the runway kind of people that we are, we're gonna put lights on it. So
Twila, can you show us how you painted your headpiece with LEDs?
I happen to have colored lights of different ones. I might have used just green, but strategically put the lights because they diffuse really well off of the paper. So
see like how you painted individual flowers a different color.
Put them in. Yep. I have a light that doesn't want to stay in place because I want to hide the lights. I don't want them to show that I have LEDs in there.
Right.
So just bend the wire or whatever and put it on there. And yeah.
All right. So
that's it.
Like off the shelf fairy wire and
I did.
Okay, cool.
And so I have and what's nice is I could put a hole to, if I wanted to put it, turn it on and off from inside. I haven't done that yet. And now I have lost the control, but there, it's just two little batteries like this, but I could put this, everything goes inside the hat. So I don't have to worry about hiding this too. The beauty of paper, I just put a hole and inside here is where everything would go.
Oh, I see.
You see
way that I can see the inside of that for the other battery holders?
Can you see in there?
Yeah, I can.
So this will be at the top of the, in here, that's the top of my structure. That's why this structure is nice and strong. I can put these lights all the way around in it and the other side. So then we get this glowy inside too. You could put them you could take and put your lights along each of your struts, each of your things there in order to put, to make it, give it a different effect. Maybe you want to highlight the stripes of it. So because you have that cardboard, you can just tape it right to it and it's strong enough and it'll hold it however you want. Put the lights on my head since they're not taped on. Trying to shove my hair back in. It's like a turban. Okay? Is it on?
Yeah, nice.
And you can see it's really lightweight. It's pretty comfortable. Not heavy. That's again one of the beauties of paper.
Right.
And
that it is easily accessible.
Yes. I got from my school. Now, when I look at it like this, it kind of looks like those old-fashioned hair dryers that you had to, that your mother used, that right there, put around. But it's the side and the down angle that we want to see.
All right, Twila, I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot of kind of new skills, and I'm going to go out and explore. Thanks for the inspiration and your time. Any last-minute tips and tricks you want to give me before we head out?
Just try stuff. You never know what it's going to come out. You're not going to ruin anything, and learn to express yourself because it was fun for me. I just wish I had stuff to do it too with you.
Hey, last question before we go. What paper headpiece are you going to make next?
Well, you're kind of inspiring me to go think of Chinese kind of ways. So I'm not sure, but maybe something like Chinese style. Mm-hmm.
Chinese opera.
Okay.
Chinese opera. It's very elaborate.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, ladies. What we just saw was how to use paper and cardboard to create a sturdy base and a few paper techniques to craft your design. Twila and Carrie spent a long time on the base because from the base, you can morph it into any design you like. Here's some examples of other headpieces from the same base. What will you make? Share your ideas and build with #MakeFashionEdu and #MakerCamp. If you would like more ideas on wearables, head to MakeFashionEdu.org. Don't forget to submit your costume to MakeFashion's Halloween costume contest. Level up your costume and submission photography with our other 2 sessions. Add touch activation to your headpiece or any wearable with the circuit with our innovation director and MakeFashion engineer James Simpson. Level up your pictures with easy photo shoot hacks and our runway projector and videographer Mike Shaw. Find the links for those sessions in the information below. See you there!